Alright. Let's see how this goes. Gonna go for a nice little ride here. We do a little bit of vlogging. I feel some wind a little bit on my legs. It's probably because it's wet. It's hard to tell. Don't normally make videos like this. I'm gonna try to do something here. Oh, they got this shit fucking closed. What is going on? They got the road closed down there. I was gonna go down. I guess I can ride around the park here. Yeah, I don't know. Weather was kind of crappy, but I just kind of felt like getting out, going for a little bit of a ride, you know? I kind of feel like I'm I feel like I'm defeating nature, you know, when you just come out and go for a ride in some bad weather. And lately, no one's really been riding around here. It's really been difficult to find anyone else to ride with. Everyone kind of went in for hibernation, but I was never really the biggest fan of, never was the biggest fan of riding in the cold or anything like that, but to be honest, I don't know. It's really not that bad. My first year, I didn't do too much riding out here in the cold, but, you know, it's been a lot nicer this year. You know, you dress appropriately, and it's really not a problem. Really don't have many complaints riding. As long as you dress warm, got good gloves and everything like that. If you're not properly dressed, it's miserable. You know, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely miserable. Nobody's gonna enjoy being out whenever it's just absolute freezing. You're not ready for it. That happens a lot towards the end, beginning of fall here. A lot of people go out, they just don't have enough gear, they don't look at the weather, see that it's going to drop to the 50s or whatever, don't realize how cold it gets whenever, when there's no sun outside. So I didn't really have many talking points, I just kind of wanted to go on a ride and try this out. Still got my little handle up here. I have that disabled on my S18, so that way it doesn't, go limp when I pick it up, because I kind of like the way it locks into that little lower position. It's kind of nice, to be honest. And sometimes I'll just use that to push it around. I don't want it to go limp whenever you lift that up. And sometimes it pops up on accident, and you don't want it to go limp then either. So, I mean, yeah. So I got it disabled. It's not a big deal. I think lift switches are kind of, I feel like they're kind of overrated, to be honest. You know, I don't really have to lift my wheel very often. I'm not in a very urban environment, and I'm not taking on buses or anything, but it's really just, I don't know, it's not a big deal to just hold in the power button for a second or so and then just turn the thing off. It's really not something I've ever had an issue with. I haven't gone down this little step here in a while. I really don't ride the S18 too much anymore. I really only ride it for trails. It's a little bit underwhelming if I'm riding it. If I'm just riding it on pavement, it's fun in the city if there's like features and stuff, but if I'm riding alone, or I just want to ride in traffic or something like that, you kind of have to stick to sidewalks with this wheel. It's not a very fast wheel, so you got to keep that in mind. Beeps kick in right around like 28. It depends. I've pushed it before. Fairly high battery. I don't have Molicel. This is an old model. I don't even know which batch this is, to be honest. But I've had beeps kick in around like 24, 25, and I'm like, wow, that's kind of messed up. We're at a point where there's so many new fast wheels. I don't know what this is over here. I don't know if this is like a mini concession stand or what they built. I think the last time I was over here, that wasn't even up, so they slapped that in. Guess we'll ride up through the rest of the park over here. I really wanted to go down onto the bike trail, but I could probably go down and ride around the construction vehicles. It's just annoying. And then people give you weird stares. Not that that's anything new riding one of these things, but sometimes you don't want to unnecessarily draw people's attention or attention to yourself any more than we already do. I see, so I guess I could speak on some of the new wheels coming out. I mean, it's been a little slow. There's supposedly new wheels. There was leaks for a while that there's going to be some new wheels coming out from Begode, some more new wheels. I don't know where the information came from, or we got a little bit. I think it looks like there's a little bit of snow kind of sticking into these leaves here. So yeah, I don't know if there's any truth to the fact that, you know, maybe some more new wheels might come out, more than the T4, and you got the Master Pro, and then no one's talking about the Master X or anything like that. Apparently the Master X is just, the Master Pro is a 4600 watt hour battery. I could be wrong on the specs. 4600 watt hour battery, and then the Master X is going to be 3600, and that is just going to be like, I think it's 12 pounds lighter, 16 pounds lighter, something like that. I'm not 100% certain. If I don't move here, my glasses fog up. One of the curses of wearing glasses inside of a motorcycle helmet. But yeah, I don't know. Not a lot of people talking about the Master X, and it's weird to me because it's basically the EX30 or whatever they're calling it. You know, they had the EX20S or whatever. Now it's just the EX30 is coming out. It's going to be 3600 watt hour. I don't really see why they would release so many. I don't know. That's the thing with Begode. They just release wheels. They don't think about if they should. They don't think about what people want. They just kind of release stuff. And it's nice sometimes, because sometimes they shake up the market, but it really sucks when people like get the EX20S. You know, it looked like a pretty neat wheel, but you know, it would have been a really cool wheel if that came out some time ago. If that would have came out, you know, a year or two ago, that would have been massive, a game changer, you know. 100-volt suspension wheel, they'd have beat everyone else to the punch. Really long-range cruiser, but it's just a little bit, you know, too little too late now. At this point, you know. But why? Why even release it just to pretty much kill it off instantly? It's kind of like the Hero was a little bit late too. They also overpriced it by a lot. A lot of people talk about the build quality, this, that, and the other. They talk about how good the build quality is, but you know, I'll keep talking about it. You know, I was gonna buy it. You know, they got them really cheap. I've seen them, you know, as low as 2200, free motion, alien ride sale. But I watched it was like something came down to, you know, just bring it to my attention. I happened to see the Go George Go video. He uploaded it pretty much the moment I thought about buying it. And I watched that teardown video, and it looked abysmal. It looked abysmal to take that thing apart. And that's such a massive thing for me. You know, someone that's a big proponent of right to repair, being able to work on your own stuff. It's just, you know, if you can't take your own stuff apart, what's the point? You know, I hate that CST knobby that they put on there. So I'd have to take mine apart pretty much instantly to put a better tire on, because that CST knobby it's just no good. You got to change it for something better, um something like the Kenda knobby, or the or like the TR1. You know, just there's better knobbies out there that handle so much better on street. That 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 CST knobby is just, it's trash. It feels so bad to ride on, even though it looks so similar. It's just, yeah. So I'd have to take it apart pretty much instantly, and I'm just looking at it, and his had all kinds of dust and stuff in it. It just, it wasn't, it's not the kind of build quality that I'm looking for. It's not good. You know, it had all kind of dust. They're talking about it's waterproof. It's the best built wheel from the Goad. And people try to use that as like a way to like shame the community, like, oh, you should love this wheel because it's built so good, and you know, this, that, and the other. But it's really not. It's not a great built wheel. It's built backwards. You know, it's just a nightmare to work on. It had all kind of dust and stuff in it, and he didn't even put that many miles on it for it to be full of dust the way it was. So it's kind of like, you know, if it's already that full of dust, imagine if that was your trail wheel. You rode it, you know, thousands of miles on trail. You know, you'd have to take that thing apart to clean it. And if you have to take it apart, there's clips. It's just not, it's not a good wheel. It really isn't. I rode one at Amped Electric Games over in Arkansas, and you know, it wasn't the worst ride, but it also just didn't really blow me away. It was all right. I do like the seat on it. I like the curvature of the top of it. It's a really nice sitting surface. You know, you don't really need a seat for it. It's a little hard. You could maybe add foam, make it softer, but it was nice. It was a nice ride. I liked sitting on it. It's heavy. It's very heavy for what it is. 1800 watt hour battery. It's almost silly how heavy it is for the kind of battery that's in it. I don't really know where else to ride. I wanted to go down on the trail, but I guess I could go around down there. Yeah, I kind of wanted to keep riding, but here we are back where we started. But yeah, the Hero, it's an okay wheel. I'm glad that it's priced lowered. People are trying to get rid of them so the community can kind of benefit on them, because you know, we've needed something to disrupt the market. Stuff has just been getting more and more expensive with no upper limit. So now that these EXNs, you know, even if they're high torques, the Commander, you know, didn't sell very well. Now that this stuff's getting dumped on the market, people can't really, you know, it's hard to overprice your wheels and sell them used secondhand whenever you can buy brand new ones of the, you know, same model or similar model for hundreds of dollars less. Why would you ever do that? So, I mean, yeah, it's nice to see stuff kind of going back down. This snow, not talking about it as I'm riding here, but this snow is massive. It's not really sticking or anything like that, but this snow is just massive. I think this is a dead end here. It is. Let's see. I could just go down around this, because I do want to do a little bit of a ride here. I don't think they're working this far down. This is a really steep hill here. I don't think I'd lose traction because it's wet, but I also kind of don't want to test it because I don't feel like landing on my ass right now. Yeah, all these new wheels coming to the market, man, I don't really know. There's really nothing that's getting me excited. the T4 is probably the most exciting wheel for me right now. I just kind of want something, more powerful than this thing. Not that there's anything wrong with the S18. A lot of people make you feel like that, make you believe that this wheel is terrible and that it's trash and that you can't do extreme stuff with it. If you're a light rider, you absolutely can. If you're a big dude, you're gonna have a hard time on like extreme hills and stuff. But for downhill, this thing is so sick nasty on downhill. It really couldn't be better for downhill. It's light. It brakes good. It's not the fastest thing. It's not extremely torquey, but if you're less than 150 pounds, this thing will get, even 160 pounds, this thing will get you around, no problem. So we got the lovely water treatment plant down here. Smells great down here. But we get into this nice little trail up here. I don't know if I'll ride all the way to the end. The cold's starting to bite in a little bit, but it's probably just because I'm wet. Just got a base layer and then these Hawk pants on. I like these pants. These pants are nice. They're not suitable for warm weather riding at all. If it's anything above like 65 or in sunny, no, you can't do it. You need like 65 at night or something, even if it's like daylight, the sun's beating down on you. You will be cooking in these things. There's little vents on the sides, but those are a lie. Those don't do anything. At least not meaningfully. So that's something that they need to look into. But for the price, these are so cheap. They're like 50, 60 bucks. They're still made out of, anti-abrasive materials and abrasive resistant materials. That's what I meant, not anti-abrasive. Yeah, they're pretty good value pants. I think Chooch wears these, but he wears the Liots over top of them. I think he took the knee pads out. The knee pads, I don't trust them. I don't think they're true, like CE2 armor or anything like that. They might be CE1. They feel a little weird. I got some proper CE2 armor and some other stuff, and the pads that come in these are a little bit goofy. They really don't inspire a lot of confidence. So, but they're better than nothing. They're better than just wearing jeans, but honestly, jeans and Liots or something like that, Liots, that might be the way to go. For that, I got my motorcycle jacket here. I scored this for cheap from one of the like Moto Steels or something like that. It's a pretty nice jacket, like Scorpion Exo something or other, old stock. They had it in my size. I think I got this in like a medium. Fits me pretty good. It has this inner liner, and the inner liner is actually really warm. It's very warm. My upper torso is pretty good. The only downfall of this, we got a lot of snow gathering up on the that's the coal pile up there. It looks like a bunch of water washed over this too, all this mud here. So yeah, I got this for fairly cheap, like 40, 50 bucks. It was really a steal, to be honest, for what it is. This has proper armor. I really like the armor in this. It's a little bit loose if you take the inner liner out, but the inner liner is so warm, and it honestly isn't that bad on a hot day. If you wear it without the liner, you could wear this on a 70-degree day, 75-degree day. I wouldn't wear it too much warmer than that, unless you're constantly moving, but, you could get away with it. But what was I saying? Yeah, the one flaw with this is the center zipper. There's like a double seal there, but there should be two zippers, in my opinion. We got a lot of standing water just sitting over here. They added a lot of drainage to this, but doesn't seem to... They need more. The problem is that over here on this hillside, all this water pools up and it just sits there in that little divot right there. And it wants to get over to the creek over here. but there's no way for the water to. So they added some sections where there's gaps in drainage, and so the water can kind of get through, and it's helped a lot, but it's not enough. This trail's so long, you'd need to add so many points to it. It was really something that they needed to think about before they paved this trail. And as you can see, all this water and stuff that's sitting on here, the drainage on this trail isn't the greatest, and that's why it gets kind of jacked up. It's in a little bit of a rough shape right now. Every fall it gets kind of rough, and then up here was a section where they added a lot of drainage and stuff to it. They did a bunch of stuff up there, but yeah, it would always flood out right here, and then there would just be massive logs and sticks and stuff. It looks like there's still a bunch of stuff on the a bunch of stuff getting washed over the trail. So I mean, it still needs some work. There's a problem with riding in my area. This trail doesn't actually lead anywhere. It dumps me out on a road, and then I got to ride that road like multiple miles before I even get back. I'll turn around now. I'm starting to get a little chilly. A little chill creeping in. I didn't dress as warm as I could have. I just planned to go on a fast little ride here. Yeah, this trail just kind of dumps you to a road. It doesn't lead anywhere. And then you have to ride the road for a while before you can get to actual trail. And it's just not the greatest. Both sides of this trail don't really lead anywhere. It's nice that we have it. It's nice for the community here and everything, and people do use it. It's just, it could be a little bit better. I don't know. There's no real way to connect it on either side, to be honest. So it's kind of weird that they even built it in the first place, but here we are. At least I can use this to cut to the other side of town. It's just unfortunate. They should probably make a crossing or something. It'd be nice if there's a little overpass that kind of went over the highway that you have to cross it like a traffic light. It just feels kind of bad. And it's just kind of annoying to deal with. Picking up lots of snowflakes here on my visor. Yeah, just kind of wanted to go for a ride today. It's not the greatest weather out, obviously, but sometimes the challenge is what's fun about it, It's not every day is sunny. And here in Pittsburgh, very rarely is it sunny. So if you're only going to ride on, beautiful, perfect days, this isn't the greatest place to live for like PEVs and stuff like that, if that's how you plan to ride. So yeah, just kind of wanted to get out. Got off of work a little bit early, and we don't get it. That's the other thing too. The biggest thing for me, more than the weather, is just it gets dark at 5 p.m. now. I believe sunset is right around like 5 p.m. It's abysmal. It's terrible. Who wants, they undid daylight savings time a couple weeks ago. And man, they should just keep it daylight savings all the time. It wasn't that dark in the morning, but it's still not daylight in the morning. It's still dark out. It just, sunset now actually is at 5 p.m. now. So it's just hard it's bad for your mental, to be honest. Just living in the dark, basically. Never get to see daylight. I don't know if my feet got cold or wet, and then they're starting to get cold. I'm definitely getting chilly here. It's creeping in a little bit, but this is a good test for my gear. I got my gloves doubled up. Definitely not very waterproof, but they'll dry. They're leather. And then I got another pair underneath, so my hands aren't even wet. Yeah, man, I want to get a new wheel. I got the itch to buy. I'm just what new wheel to get. You know, the S18's been good enough for me for trails, and I rip pretty hard. You know, most of it is downhill. If I was ripping, you know, Black Diamond uphill or something, you know, maybe I would need a master or something. I doubt it. I just don't, there's no wheels that interest me right now. Everything is kind of the same. It's running together, you know. Everything's big, 3600 watt hour. The Sherman S looks nice, but it's basically a Shermax with suspension. So it's like, you know, I don't know if anyone's going to really upgrade to that. Because, like, I don't know, maybe the Sherman to the Shermax, obviously nobody is going to drop their Sherman to buy the Shermax. But if you go from the OG Sherman to the, you know, Sherman S, you're basically getting a Shermax with suspension. Maybe it's a big enough upgrade at that point. You know, who's to say? I mean, I don't own a Sherman. I got the S18 and the S18 and my trusty EXN. So yeah, nothing really too interesting for me, to be honest. T4, but I'm letting them work out the issues with it. And then I also don't like how naked it is. At least this thing, you know, has some side paneling, so if I drop it on trails, the battery cases aren't made out of paper. So that's also a thing as well. So I mean, I'm almost debating I could technically get a master and replace both of my wheels with a master. You know, replace the EXN, because I don't need crazy range. I don't do very far distance riding. I really don't. I'm not doing anything, you know, that crazy or distant. You know, I can kill the EXN just like anyone else can. You know, it doesn't have infinite battery, but I'm a lighter rider. And a lot of my riding is on, you know, bike trails and stuff. 15. You're supposed to go 15, but, you know, I'll be honest. I'm going, you know, if I don't see people, I'll go 15, 25. It's a pretty steep hill here. S18 just powers me right up it. No problem. Wet in the cold, you know. You do kind of got to push it, especially since I don't really have proper power pads for this thing. I have these things that I added here, but those front pieces, they're kind of fake. You can't even really push on them. They're just, I don't know who designed that shape or anything like that, but it just, your foot slides right past it, like glides right off. They're just not deep enough. Kind of sucks. Alright, wrap my ride up here. Yeah, let's see if anyone likes this video or anything like that, or this kind of content, you know, just me rambling, talking about my thoughts or whatever is going on. Maybe I'll do more stuff like this, be more motivated to, but for me, this is just, I don't know, more of a therapy for me, where I just kind of get to go out and ride and kind of, I don't know, it gives purpose to riding, because if you're just riding around by yourself, and it gets old a little bit, but this keeps it a little bit fresher. Definitely picked up some snow. So, get this thing dried off and get a fan on it, and we'll see you next time, maybe.